Hello! Today we are going to play Pleaser by Wallows, my favorite song on drums, and I'll show you how to do that. At the end of the video I will play it in real time so you guys can get a feel for how it sounds. Yeah, let's get started. The intro is just going to be a pretty simple pattern that a lot of you guys know, but you just got to play it on toms instead of hi-hats. So it's going to be eighth notes on the hi-hat, and then 1 and 3 for the kick, and 2 and 4 for the snare. So that's going to sound like. And then instead of the hi-hat, you're going to do that on the tom, so floor tom. And there's a little accent in the tom, so on the down beats, you're going to be accenting it and playing softer on the upbeat. So, and then normally it'd just be 4/4, so you play 4 beats and then continue. But this song you play 5 and then stop basically with the first beat of the next one. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So it's got a little weird time, but it's a pretty simple pattern. I like to put my hand on the floor tom afterwards because it mutes it and allows for a better effect. Next up is the pre-chorus, and that's so it's just quarter notes on the kick and the snare on 1, 2, 3, and then on the 4th, you're gonna do 2 notes instead of 1 and you're playing the rim of the floor tom. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so. And then right after that, 3rd measure, I believe it is, you're gonna bring the rim up to the floor tom itself and then hit solid notes there. And that brings us into the chorus. That's going to sound like this. That's another odd time signature. It's got 5 beats instead of 4. So you're going to play quarter notes on the crash. So kick on 1, snare on 2, kick on the and of 2, snare on 3. So it's going to sound like. So 1 and 2 and then back to the snare on 3, back to the kick on the and of 3. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and. So 4 and 5 is going to be the snare twice. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 5. And then with the quarter note crash, it's going to sound like this. So yeah, that chorus is repeated a couple times. Even right after the chorus, the part that brings you back into the second verse is the same exact thing, except it's like a wet hi-hat. So you open it just slightly to get that little ringing sound. And you're going to play the exact same pattern. Kick, snare, hi-hat this time. And that brings you into the second verse, which is one pattern that can be transferred to another thing as well. So it's going to be quarter notes, or eighth notes on the hi-hat. So, and then on the kick, So 1 and 2 and. Except it's not just 2 solid ones. It's going to be light on the 2 and then heavy on the and. So. And then it's going back to the kick on the 3, and then snare on the 4, with the hi-hat going continuously on the 8th note. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. In real time, that sounds like this. And that goes right into the second chorus. But before that, you just play solid 8th notes here on the snare. So. Back to the intro. Two, three, four. 2, 3, 4. And then it's going to do a little fill. I'm only playing with 1 rack tom for simplicity, so I just kind of give a little, like a 2 or 3 rack tom hits followed by the floor tom. That's just kind of a bridge. You can get fancier if you'd like, but if you keep it simple, it sounds just as good. And then from there, after you play that intro part and then a little fill, it's going to be the exact same part you played here that had the 8th note hi-hats, except you're going to do the 8th note hi-hats on the floor tom, and you're going to use that same pattern of accented on the downbeat, non-accented on the upbeat or on the and. So, and that's going to sound like, so coming in from this. End of that, you just play solid quarter notes, and then right at the end you go just quick little floor tom, rack tom, floor tom, rack tom. So, and that sounds like. And then brings you back into the chorus again. The crash 1 good bang before it enters the bridge, and then it's gonna go guitar solo, I guess you could call it. It's gonna go for 1 repetition, I guess. So, and then you come in with another crash, and then right as you do that, you're with your left hand crash. With your right hand, you're going to be playing the rim of the floor tom. This same exact pattern you did here, but on the rim. So, and then with your left hand, you're just going to be playing quarter notes instead of 8th notes after you do the crash. So. So, then it's gonna go, they start singing again. It's the same exact thing there, as you just did with the little guitar solo. Alright, so after 1 repetition of just them starting to sing, then it enters a drum fill solo, I guess you call it. I'm not too familiar with the terminology. It's a very neat part though. It's kind of confusing to get at first, but if you just give it like maybe 30 minutes to an hour of practice, you can get it down. So I'll do it nice and slow. Instead of the rim here, you're going to be playing the floor tom. Same exact pattern of heavy, light, crash on the 1, and then also kick on the 1 too. So, you're gonna do kick on all the quarter notes along with the floor tom eighth note. So and then your left hand's gonna be doing all the cool sounds. So it's gonna go crash on one and two and. So on the two and, you're gonna be playing the rack tom. So back to floor tom. So one and, excuse me, one and two and three and four and. You're gonna do a double hit here on the floor tom. So that's one of three of the measures of this fill. So you've got the first measure of three measures in this drum fill solo, and the second one's going to start with floor tom on one, snare on the and of one. So just like that. Snare on the and of one, and then keep doing kick on two, and then floor tom on all the eighth notes. And then on the three, you're going to do rack tom, and then on the four, you're going to do floor tom. So very slowly, that's going to be. Again. I'm playing the quarter notes every time with my kick, so. It takes quite a while to get that, but once you get that, you're basically done. Because the second part, or the third part, is just the same as the first, except instead of doing the crash on the one, you're just going to do two floor tom hits. So all that, I'll play that one again for you. So. So the three of those parts together, it's a little tricky, but you'll get the hang of it. It's going to sound like this, very slowly and then in time. I'll do it a little quicker. And then in time with the song. And you're going to end out with just simple quarter notes on the floor tom, snare, and kick. Or excuse me, eighth notes. Quarter notes on the kick, eighth notes on the floor, and the snare. So all in time, it's going to sound like this. Nice little build up. So then after you do the eighth notes on the snare and floor, and then quarter notes on the kick, that's gonna bring you into the ending of the song, which is just simple quarter notes on the crash, kick, and snare. So bang away at these as much as you want. That's probably the funnest part. So yeah, from the breakdown of the bridge to the end of the song is gonna sound like this. that's just going to keep going until the very end of the song, which is just the same chorus line again with the wet hi-hats instead of the crash. So that's that. Up next is the In Time Live playthrough. This is Pleaser in real time.
You're talking while you're fast asleep as I walk slowly from your house. Back in your room remain the words I wanna say to you but couldn't leave my house. Does it come as a surprise? Language of averted eyes. Silence is what I do best. Still I hear it all, wasting time around my head. So I talk to myself instead. Sitting out the weekend, couldn't do it again. Say you want it right now, but I wouldn't know how. It's something that I can't do, and what am I supposed to? Quit the people pleaser, if only I could please her. Indecisive feelings of enjoyment, hold the thought I think I know. I'm aware that something I should tell you, but my voice annoys me. Bite my tongue off with a smile. I can feel it anymore, 'cause recently the line is blurred between depression and bliss. Now I see that the times don't change, the ways away, but I just wanna sleep today, and I don't wanna talk to you right now. You say, but I'm sitting on the weekend, couldn't do it again. Say I want it right now, but I wouldn't know how. It's something that I can't do, and what am I supposed to? Quit the people pleaser, if only I could please her.
Best song of all time. Check it out. So here's the behind the scenes. If you guys couldn't tell, that camera work was pretty shaky, literally and figuratively. But this is because it was on this little stand that I got here. And it's just sitting up top. That's the best I got. This isn't even my drum set. I gotta return it soon before I go back to college. One and done. One quick song and then leave the craft. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I've only made a few videos so far, but if one person out of 7 billion gets some enjoyment out of them, then I'd be happy to make more. Yeah, I'm not going to say like, comment, or subscribe because, let's be real, this ain't a and a realistic dream of mine to have some YouTube channel. So yeah, go learn or go practice how to play it, and let me know if you guys want any guitar songs, because I can surely do that for you guys. Keep jamming.